September 20th, 1961. Betty and Barney Hill are driving home through the night, through the beautiful white mountains of western Maine. Suddenly, they see a bright light come down from the sky. The next thing they know, they're waking up back at their house in their own driveway with absolutely no memory of what happened to them.
This is the testimony of Betty and Barney Hill. We are going to review their story and tell you if you think it's true or total bullshit.
This is the case of Betty and Barney Hill. Betty and Barney Hill are taking a romantic trip in the White Mountains of beautiful New Hampshire. The year is 1961. The spontaneous romantic getaway was triggered by the couple being burnt out from Barney's job at the post office and Betty's law job.
The couple have a very steamy and romantic trip, but on the last night of their vacation, things take a horrifying turn.
The couple leaves a diner in Vermont to drive back home to Portsmouth, New Hampshire. They leave a diner at 10 p.m., and it's a 4-hour drive home for them. So they expect to arrive home no later than 2 a.m.
As they're driving, Betty sees a huge bright light. She thinks it could be a star or a planet in the sky. The object starts moving around the sky frantically. Betty begins shouting that it's a UFO. Barney tells her it fucking isn't, and to calm down.
At this point, Barney's fucking over it. He pulls the car over and gets his gun out. He gets out his gun and begins checking out the scene, and he sees what he can only describe as a pancake-like saucer. It glows and is about the size of a small plane.
Barney bolts back to the car, and the couple tries to drive away. Suddenly, both of them get woozy and pass out.
2 hours later, they come to, pulling their car into their own driveway with absolutely no recollection of what the fuck happened to them.
Betty was absolutely convinced that they had been in contact with a UFO. Barney still said, hell no. Only after they visited a psychiatrist in December of 1963 did Barney become aware of the nightmare they endured.
The psychiatrist found that both Betty and Barney Hill had been suffering from the worst case of anxiety that he had ever seen, especially Betty, who was experiencing repetitive nightmares and terrifying intrusive thoughts.
The couple was then put under hypnosis. This is when things got fucking nuts.
Barney suddenly remembered small creatures abducting him and his wife. The beings were small and gray and had slanted eyes. Barney remembers the being experimenting on him and his wife's naked bodies. The beings took skin, hair, toe and fingernails, and cum. At one point, one of the beings inserted a half-foot-long needle into Betty's belly button.
Betty later recalled the leader of the beings. She asked him where they were. The being laughed at Betty's face and said, if you don't know, then there's no fucking point in telling you.
So a year goes by, and they went under hypnosis again. And that's when Betty did something fucking nuts. She drew a star map from her dreams and a planet orbiting a star called Zeta Reticuli.
The map that Betty drew was absolutely accurate to the actual star system, which experts said should have been impossible. This remains one of the greatest pieces of evidence of this event.
The legacy of this event led to the Air Force creating the Project Blue Book program, which investigates domestic sightings of UFOs. Betty and Barney Hill set the standard for this extraterrestrial phenomenon, which people still report happening to them today. Okay, so now we could just have a pretty general... Yeah, that's it.
Oh, cool, yeah. Just what we think. Yeah.
All right. So, off the bat, what's your impressions of this case?
I think it might be true. Obviously, we can, say for sure. But it's just, this couple looks... they look like nice people that have jobs. And I heard that the guy, he was in army, right? He was...
No, he was a post office worker.
I think he was.
We also watched a documentary on
yeah.
this case earlier, just for some additional facts that were not in this piece.
Mm-hmm.
And I also wanted to point out that the reason that her drawing the star map of Zeta Reticuli The reason that is so profound is because astronomers hadn't discovered it yet.
Yeah, that's
So
crazy.
it's not even
Yeah,
like she
that's
could go
crazy.
read it and then like
Yeah, to me that's insane.
she drew it perfectly.
Yeah, that's insane. That should be pretty much, if you have that as an evidence, that should be enough
Yeah.
to believe them. And also they mentioned that she was not into astrology in any way. Like she didn't know anything
Okay.
about it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I had heard in the documentary though
Yeah.
that afterwards it turned out that Betty had a sister
Oh yeah.
that was like obsessed with UFOs and aliens.
Well, I heard that she was into UFOs, but she was not into astrology, so it's
Okay.
like a bit different.
It's way different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, when I look at them, they don't make me feel like they can lie for fame or whatever. You know,
Mhm.
it's kind of stupid. And also that it was their honeymoon, and I think that's the last thing you want to do on your honeymoon. Just like just create some fake story about UFOs that you were abducted. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's kind of gross too, because who's gonna brag about getting like assaulted by an alien?
Yeah, and also that it's both of them. It would if it would be just like one person who is like lonely and weird, you know, and just comes up with some story just to get some attention or whatever, or just someone who's like a bit cuckoo, you know. That's one thing. But another thing when it's a couple and they both say the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, even though they said that they had like a bit different storyline, to me it's also kind of proves that, you know, it's how it is in real life. You know, you can make everything super matchy, super perfect. That would be actually suspicious if they kind of like prepared the story and told it.
What else? So Barney Hill would die in 1969. But Betty Hill would go to live until 2004, and she became huge icon in like the extraterrestrial kind of like conventions and but so she kind of got a little nuts.
I bet, yeah.
Well, so then she had claimed, you know, after this story, then she continued to claim like that she had seen UFOs like thousands and thousands of times after. So that's kind of kooky.
Well, she probably like lost her mind a little too, you know, after if like it's true and she experienced that, she probably maybe lost. Like, how do we know?
Right. Someone else that people think is pretty credible is a fella called Travis Walton, and we'll do that case. Also, it's a great case, and I'm really interested in that. And he kind of also he says the same shit. Yeah. That like he had this experience, and then for like the rest of his life, he would see UFOs and be contacted by aliens.
Interesting. Yeah.
But but he doesn't like to talk about it because then he feels like it makes people think he's more crazy. Right. So he said that shit in the past, but then recently he kind of keeps that shit to himself.
Yeah. Well, also maybe like since they already saw UFO one time, UFO like aliens know that this person already know them, and they just keep showing themselves to those people.
That alien wanted another piece of Betty.
No, like at this point, she already saw them. Like, fuck it, no point to like hide or anything. I don't know.
So
yeah, it's odd. Maybe there's like some part of your brain works differently, and then you like maybe sense like UFOs better, or there's some sort of connection with UFOs after this close contact. You know, who knows?
Yeah. So any closing thoughts before we give our opinion?
I thought that was our opinion.
Well, we didn't say if we think it's true or bullshit.
Oh, I think I said it already, but yeah, I'm good to go.
You think that it's?
I think it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple elements of this case that could lead to bullshit. Basically, like, so Barney, you know, like after the event, like when it happened, he's like, "It's not fucking aliens. It's not fucking aliens. Like, chill. It's not aliens." And she kind of kept pushing him and maybe kind of planted some shit.
But still, how can you be convinced and that kind of stuff?
But maybe, you know, he was an impressionable man. But who knows?
But yeah, he doesn't look like a guy who would be under influence, you know, and lie about such a crazy thing. You know?
We encourage everyone, if you search on YouTube, you can search like Angela Hill, or not Betty Hill, Betty Hill. You can search Betty Hill, like testimony, and she does like hour-long
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so you can get her firsthand
Yeah.
account, and then you can decide. I'm saying it's true.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
saying
so too.
that they were assaulted by aliens, and it really fucked their life up.
Yeah.
And the reason that I said Angela Hill just now is because I wanted
Mhm.
to say this. They have like a great granddaughter,
Mhm.
Angela Hill, in the UFC.
You serious?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
In that small world.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I heard like the same thing that she was telling him her dream or something, and just he kind of got convinced that it happened in real life. But again, I don't think you can convince someone that,
Right.
and go and say it in public because people are gonna think you're crazy and
Yeah.
stuff. So unless it really happened, I don't think anyone would do that.
Yeah, and he also says like,
I mean, obviously there are people who say that it happened and in reality it didn't happen, but again, they don't give me an impression of that kind of people.
yeah. So like, even like right after, like, so they see the bright light, and then they, like 2 hours later, they like they wake up, they're like, what the fuck happened?
Mhm.
And then immediately, Barney Hill like runs inside and then checks his balls and
Oh yeah,
ass and
balls,
shit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I guess he knew what was up.
Yeah.
Someone was.
Yeah, why would you say that? Like,
Yeah.
if someone told you a dream, why would you go to the bathroom and check your
Balls and ass.
Yeah, yeah, all of that.
Taint.
All of that, especially taint.
His gooch.
Yeah.
Barney's like, some alien was up in my gooch.
Okay.
So, we're gonna say this is fucking true.
Yeah.
This actually
I
fucking
agree.
happened, and every single one of you out there should be fucking terrified. We want to thank each and every one of you out there for checking out our new Alien YouTube podcast. Please,
thank you so much.
like and subscribe. We're gonna do this on a bi-weekly case. If you have a case that you want us to go over, don't
Yeah.
be shy. We're gonna have our email and shit. Like, we'll have a new Instagram and website for this. So you tell us what's up. You tell us what you want to hear. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. Cheers. And
See you soon.
see you soon.